When discussing which superhero has the best and greatest rogues gallery, often in the discussion are the likes of Spider-Man's and Batman's, but one very underrated one, which we both feel doesn't get enough love and attention, is Superman's rogues gallery.
Superman's got some great villains, dude. I feel like there's kind of a misconception that it's pretty much just Lex Luthor and then like the ones that can beat him up, you know, like Zod and Doomsday, and like Darkseid.
But there are a few that never really get talked about, I feel. It's always just Lex, Doomsday, Death of Superman.
And like, don't get me wrong, Lex for sure is his Joker. He's incredible, fantastic villain, great character. He's not Superman's only good villain.
Today we're going to be discussing why Lex Luthor isn't Superman's only good villain.
Guys, I'm Thomas.
I'm Merlin.
Together we're the Comic Lads.
Yes, we are. And guys, before we get started, question of the week. Who is your favorite Superman villain? Is it Lex Luthor? He is the most iconic by far. But do you have someone that's more underrated and less talked about?
There's all kinds of great ones, and we're going to get into some today, you know. Like, is Toyman your favorite villain?
He's not mine.
Probably not.
He's
but, you know,
mine.
Somebody is for sure. Also, guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps us out as a small growing channel.
Join the lads.
Become a fellow lad. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
All right, first up, guys, a villain that I'm really personally hoping to see in James Gunn's Superman. I don't think he'll be in it, but I feel like he's such a great kind of secondary villain to give to the likes of Lex Luthor. We're talking about Metallo.
Yeah, and just on the subject of James Gunn's DCU, I feel like this villain maybe couldn't lead his own movie, but could be a great opener for a movie.
100%.
You know what I mean? Just an action opener scene, something like that.
Absolutely, because like he's so visually striking, and there's such a cool concept to him. So if you're not familiar with Metallo, he has a couple different origins. Basically, he's either a con man or a soldier,
a businessman,
or overall just like a bad person. Consciousness is transplanted into a cyborg made of the metal alloy called Metallo.
That's like the most comic book sentence you've ever said.
We're not selling him right now.
We're not selling him at all, but he's very cool. And
he's
like
really
said,
dope, yeah.
Like you said, I don't think there's too much to his actual personality. You know, he is just kind of like a disgruntled businessman in a lot of continuities. I'm not too familiar with him with anything outside of the DC animated universe. You know what I mean? Like, you just recently lent me the entire 3-season disc set.
Oh, it's peak, dude.
And just binging through it, he has some of the most memorable episodes, which maybe we could even make a whole separate video on.
Yeah, and that's really, I feel like, where our love for Metallo comes from, and I feel like a lot of people. Metallo in Superman the Animated Series is awesome. Once he's made into a robot, basically, or a cyborg, his heart is replaced with kryptonite.
And of course, that being a very big physical disadvantage to Superman, you know what I mean?
100%. Like, he's already kind of indestructible because the metal is like, you know, it's vibranium, it's adamantium, it's metallo, it's whatever.
It's fictional metal.
It's fictional, indestructible metal, exactly. The really cool thing that they do with him in the animated series, in my opinion, is that they kind of do this Baldur from Norse myth / like God of War type thing. Once his brain is transplanted into the cyborg body, he has no sense of touch or feeling anymore. He has no sensation at all. He can't smell, he can't taste, he can't touch. It's traumatizing. It's horrible.
It is traumatizing, and I think one of the most intriguing parts to his character is that you can see there's a smidge of humanity in there that's trying its best to hold on to what little bit of human it has left.
Yeah. Obviously, his whole accident and transplanting into becoming a robot was all orchestrated by Lex Luthor. So it gives you kind of like a bigger bad to side with Metallo on.
So yeah, all in all, just a very intriguing character. It's not really like Two-Face, but it is in the sense that like you can see him battling with himself.
And also visually, my favorite look for Metallo is when like half the fake skin is still on.
Yeah.
And then you see half the Terminator kind of under.
Definitely.
It's so sick.
And one thing that they do that symbolizes how far into his Metallo persona he's currently in, they'll showcase him with different amounts of skin still hanging on.
Yeah.
And in the show especially, when all of it's off and he's fully embraced his Metallo persona, it's like...
He doesn't even remember that he's John Corbin.
I know.
He just thinks he's a robot in that Amnesia episode.
Alright, the next one we have on our list, you know how I feel about this character. I absolutely adore her, especially once again referencing the Superman animated series show.
Yep.
It is Livewire.
Oh, she's so dope, dude.
This character is so cool, and I don't even think it's to do with her powers. I mean, her powers are cool, but I just think it's her snarky personality that contrasts so well with Superman's kind of Boy Scout energy. You know what I mean?
It's so much fun, and there's not really any other Superman villains that have that energy. They're all like megalomaniacal businessmen or like Thanos characters.
Yeah,
you know?
too like stoic and,
very.
and, you know, but she's always been very out there. You're gonna hate me for this, but her personality is electric.
Yeah, guys, thanks for watching. We've been with Comic Labs. This is my last video.
Oh,
here,
come on. But you have to admit. You have to admit.
It is, yeah, very electric.
Yeah. But let's get into her origin story.
All right, well, her origin story in the comics, and also pretty much the exact same in the animated universe, is that she was like a radio DJ named Leslie Willis, who kind of like made her bones on her show bashing Superman.
Yeah, she did it just for like views and clicks.
Yeah, just for clicks, literally.
For clicks, yeah.
What happens is, it's basically Electro.
Yeah, struck by a giant lightning bolt.
Yeah, it gives her powers instead of, cooking her alive.
Yeah, and also, kind of like the Amazing Spider-Man 2, in her fury of this new transformation, she directs her anger at the hero.
At Superman.
And one thing that I like about her, too, is that she's not like an S-tier villain that's gonna cause the destruction of all Metropolis. She's kind of just like a little brat. Like, she has major, youngest sibling energy.
Yeah, and like you said, she's not a dark side level threat. She's vulnerable to water. So, if it's raining, Superman's chilling.
She's fucked. She's fucked. Cancel all the ice. Also, her design.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. And also, electricity powers, whether it's in animation or comic books.
So dope,
it just looks so awesome. Especially in the fights that she has with Superman, it's hard for him to get his hands on her because she can just like suck herself into like a fucking electricity plug or something.
That's true.
And make an escape.
Yeah, I love that aspect of her powers that she kind of also shares with Electro, where she can just become pure energy and like go through electrical wires and stuff and just escape like that. So
like, as dangerous as a character like Doomsday is, at least Superman knows where he has to hit and what he has to hit.
Yeah, Doomsday can't just like get away in a second.
Exactly.
It's like 13 feet tall.
I would love to see her in like a future Suicide Squad movie even, or like a Superman movie.
Yeah.
Again, as one of those like lower tier villains, but could still be a very fun opener for the movie. And also, I'd like to see her more in comic books. I can't really think of any like huge standout Livewire comic books. You guys comment if there is one. Well, she was a bullet type in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Livewire elemental bullets.
Oh, that's so sick.
What an appearance, honestly.
Next up, guys, we're talking about a villain that I'm honestly kind of baffled we haven't gotten a good live-action version of. Talking about Bizarro.
Yeah, I have to say, on the subject, we'll talk about his origin shortly after this, but I can't believe he wasn't the big bad in
of
Superman.
Batman v Superman?
Yeah, because it's like, dude, that was Superman's second appearance.
Yeah, let's kill him.
Let's kill him, and it's also like, it would work so well. In his origin story, he's a clone created by Lex Luthor.
It's genius.
To take down Superman.
It's not, no, so I'll take that back. It's not genius, it's a layup. It's so easy.
Yeah, but that's exactly what he does with Doomsday.
Yeah.
He's like a clone of Zod that he like wants to use to kill Superman. It would have been such a slam dunk.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. Anyway, so yeah, his origin story.
The one everyone, I'm pretty sure, likes and knows is he's a failed clone of Superman made by Lex Luthor. And I think that's just such a great, simple slam dunk concept.
Things that I really like about Bizarro, number one, his personality. Because I feel like he's not an intentionally malicious villain.
No, he's kind of endearing. You kind of just want to root for him, but like, he's too powerful for how dumb he is.
He's kind of has like a Hulk thing going on almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like worse though.
But there is a kind of like innocence attached to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes you root for him, which is why, again, I love in Superman the Animated Series, eventually Superman just finds a planet for Bizarro to live on with like his like weird messed up version of like crypto that he has, where he can just be okay and not hurt people and just be happy, because like that's what he deserves. He didn't ask to be made or to be used as a weapon by stupid Lex Luthor.
Yeah, and although he is classified as a villain, he still kind of retains that desire to do good that Superman has. I like the iterations where him being quote-unquote evil is just him being like, you know, trying to fix the situation and making it worse by accident, just because he doesn't have the knowledge to really, you know, solve it in a coherent way.
They also did a lot of really good work with this character when they relaunched Red Hood and the Outlaws for DC Rebirth.
Hell yeah.
The team was Red Hood, Artemis from the Amazons, and Bizarro.
I remember that. That's true.
Sick. It's like a weird kind of like discount trinity.
Yeah.
And that's how they play it off. It's so cool. And they really did some good work making Bizarro likable.
Misunderstood
And kind of sad, you know?
Yeah, definitely. That's so... I forgot about that.
Yeah,
that was
great
crazy.
comic. Great comic. Another cool thing about Bizarro has nothing to do with his character. I love that his heat vision and frost breath are reversed.
Oh, yeah, freeze vision.
Fire. Oh, it's so sick.
It's so cool, man. Especially in a fight with Superman, seeing the kind of like opposite version of himself, you know, fighting against him. It's so freaking cool.
Yeah, dude, imagine we saw that in Batman v Superman.
That would have just been amazing.
I'm depressed.
One can dream.
Yeah.
But that's it for Bizarro. The next villain we're going to be talking about is Mxyzptlk. One of the hardest to say villain names ever.
Yeah, just like whoever created him, I love you, but also like you suck, dude.
Yeah.
Like give us something like
Mr. Mxyzptlk. Say that 5 times fast.
No.
Mixie is a villain that honestly
I love
him.
He's top 3 Superman villains for me.
Yeah, and I know we keep bringing up Superman the Animated Series, and maybe this should have just been like a Superman the Animated
Yeah,
Series
maybe.
videos. But listen, like these shows, when you're a kid, these are the shows you're exposed to.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and these are the ones that kind of solidify the core versions of these characters for the modern age.
Definitely.
You know?
And I will say in Superman the Animated Series, Mxyzptlk episode is my favorite episode in the entire 3-season run.
Oh my god, it's goated.
So Mixie is, what is he? He's like an interdimensional kind of...
He's an imp from the 5th dimension.
And his whole shtick is just...
He just wants to mess with Superman.
Yeah, because Superman is all-powerful, and he's almost... I feel like there's an intimidation factor to that, where he wants to, like, humble him. But it's so funny, because he's always getting outsmarted by him, you know what I mean? By Superman.
Well, yeah, he just needs to get him to say his name backwards, which is, like, so ridiculous, but it's such a fun trope that I love. It just makes for some great gags.
And I think, like, that's the whole point of his character. He's not a big physical threat. He's really just the star of these fun, quirky stories where it doesn't have to take itself too seriously.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
On the flip side of that, I also wanted to talk about the idea of him is scary. He looks goofy and fun, but he's also like a Lovecraftian like being that we can't really understand or comprehend. Like,
yeah, he's like the
to its full extent. Exactly.
You know, Pennywise type shit.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring up a story by Alan Moore called Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. And it was a messed up story about all of Superman's villains coming to attack him at once and like killing a lot of his loved ones. It's really messed up. For the whole book, you're like, who's behind it? Is it Lex? Is it Braniac? And it's like, no, it's neither of them. The villain that was behind that whole story was Mxyzptlk. And you're like he's supposed to be this fun, goofy villain.
Yeah.
And when Superman confronts him about that, he's like, I thought we always just had like a thing, you know? I thought we were kind of cool. And it's such a messed up scene, bro. Mixie basically is like, well, you know, yeah, I had fun for however long we did that. Now I thought, why not? Let's just be evil. And he just like ruins his life and like kills Pete Ross and Lana and like I think Perry or Perry's wife or something. It's really disturbing, and he kind of becomes this like demonic being that fights Superman, and you're like, oh, I never thought of him just like fully using all of his powers against Superman, because he's kind of like God.
It almost feels a bit like Greek mythology based, you know what I mean? Like the actual Greek mythology stories where gods would be
Just fuck with people.
Yeah, they would just mess with people, oftentimes for their own amusement, but oftentimes also just to be evil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they get some kind of sick satisfaction.
Yeah, they're like, well, why not just like try this out, you know?
Yeah.
I can do whatever. Do you think he could ever work in live action?
I think he could work in live action.
I feel like if anyone could pull it off, like it's gotta be James Gunn.
Honestly, if he was put in live action, I wouldn't want him to be the focus of the story. I'd want him to almost be like a way for Superman to openly discuss his internal monologues that he has going on. Maybe as a character that's like following him around for the story and keeps like pressing his buttons as he's trying to deal with different things with Lois and like his alias is Superman, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that could be cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I've been thinking about this since we started discussing making this video. I think this is my favorite Superman villain.
Crazy.
I think I like him more than Lex. Guys, we're talking about Braniac as our final pick. Braniac is just so freaking cool.
He's kind of like a perfect antithesis to what Superman is. You know, he's an alien from another land, except he's not here to be entirely selfless. He's here just to like take everything he possibly can.
Yeah, and in some of the best adaptations of Braniac, what comes to mind for me is he was the artificial intelligence that basically ran Krypton. And that's my favorite version of Braniac. There's kind of that ambiguous question of like, did he have a hand in destroying Krypton?
Yeah, I love those iterations.
So cool.
And it makes the connection with him and Cal so much more personal too.
Yeah.
You know, when he's just like an alien that's scouring the universe for different civilizations,
For cities, yeah.
data code and, you know, add to his trophy realm. It's not as interesting as, oh shit, this guy could be behind the entire annihilation of my species and planet.
Yeah, and this guy holds everything that I want to know about my people that are gone. I love when they give him like a slight, tiny bit of a personality. Not like MCU Ultron, where
Yeah.
he's like a dad. More kind of just, he's a robot. There's like a pettiness to it.
Yeah, he knows what buttons to press.
Exactly.
And talking about his personality being very cold, I love how that conflicts with Superman's personality, who is super, like we said before, selfless, warm, caring. Everything he does is for the betterment of humanity.
Yeah.
And Brainiac is the complete opposite of that.
They're both kind of the last vestiges of this civilization. One of them just wants to help, and the other one kind of just wants to destroy and consume. Mind-boggling that we've never gotten a movie adaptation of Brainiac.
It's crazy too, because I think he's done pretty good justice in other continuities and other forms of media. Like, I mean, he's always in video games.
Yep.
His whole fucking plot was funding DC Universe Online.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
True. DC Universe Online, he was the main baddie in Injustice 2.
Yeah, Injustice 2 and fucking Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. You know what I mean? It's such a waste of his first appearance on the Arkhamverse, I would say.
know.
But, you know, he seems to be in everything but movies.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
I think we're gonna see him for sure.
Do you like him better as a Superman villain or a Justice League level villain? Because he does appear as both.
I think he works perfectly as both. It's always that personal connection to Superman that really makes the story juicy for me, you know?
Definitely. One thing that I like about him too is that he's so calculating that even if Superman starts to get the upper hand, he'll know like, okay, I gotta bail out. He's not just like Doomsday, like if he's getting his ass beat or something.
He's gonna keep fighting.
Yeah, keep coming forward to the very end.
Yeah.
And that makes him very, very formidable because you know he's never going into a situation or fight with Superman without having all the cards in his favor.
Definitely.
And on that subject, every time you see him, you don't know how much more powerful he's become. Because in a lot of iterations, the more he consumes and the more knowledge he downloads, the more formidable he becomes, you know what I mean? So even if he loses a skirmish or, you know, bails out of a fight, the next time he comes back, you know he's come back with a vengeance and he's upgraded.
Yeah.
But guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this week's video. We really just wanted to hop on, discuss who are the underrated villains that we should pay more attention to in Superman's Rogues Gallery.
These other characters need a bit more love, I would say.
But guys, we want to hear from you. Let us know in question of the week, who is your favorite Superman villain and why? We really like to interact with you guys. I think it's safe to say we pretty much read every single comment that's posted on our videos.
Yes, definitely.
We love the feedback. We love the community that we're building with you guys. If you enjoyed the video, please give a like. It really, really helps us out. You know, we're a small growing channel still. Every like really goes a long way. And 90% of our viewers are not yet subscribed.
Come on, guys.
Guys, become a lad.
You know what to do. Become a fellow lad.
Become a lad with us, guys.
And hit that notification bell so you can be notified when new videos and posts and other stuff drop.
Guys, that's it from us. We're the Comic Lads, and we'll see you guys next week.
We love you. See you soon.
We love you dearly.
Peace.
Peace. Peace.